Hello, fellow traders. This is TheRumpledOne coming to you Monday, June the 26th. The year is 2023. Let's talk trading, patience, plus luck with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and from Walmal's. And as always, have your risk management in place so you don't lose any more on any one single trade than you're willing to lose. So Walmal, patience plus luck.
Yeah, and luck is one of those things where you can be defined a couple of different ways, and so depending on how you look at it, you can you can come up with different ideas about it. Some people say that never ever go and base your trading plan on luck. It's just you can't. If you do that, then you're going to go and guarantee that you're going to go and lose, probably even lose big. And I guess I kind of agree with that to a certain extent, but there's another element to it. And the other side of the coin is, every time you get into a trade, you don't know which way it's going to go. You have no idea. You can go along and it drops and goes south on you for whatever reason. You can go, short and it can go to the sky. Again, you just have no idea. So that's the luck element of it. And so what do you need to do? I think what you need to do is that when you get into a trade, or before you even get into the trade, I fully, hold on to the idea that, you sleep in the bed that you make. Okay. And what I mean by that is that, if you're going to be getting into a trade, you should have done your research up front. You should have a good idea why you're going to get into a trade, and how you're going to get out of the trade. Have all those things in place, because that puts some nice boundaries around things. Because things are going to happen. You can get into a trade, there's nothing on FOREX factory, nothing's going on, and then some type of geopolitical thing happens somewhere in a far off land that causes the market to react in a very, very strong way. And depending on which side of the trade you're on, it could be adverse or it could be very profitable. And so you need to be just very, very careful about that. And so again, you sleep in the bed that you make, and what do you have in place to make sure that you're okay in that type of an event? So that's one part of the luck.
Yeah, well, the thing is, on our money management screen here, I define it every win is luck because you don't control the outcome. So, in fact, the whole thing about patience plus luck, right before this phone call, I got lucky on a trade because I had shorted at 10. And what happened was price inflected on me, and I was sitting in the trade. It had gone up to about 15, 16. Then it came back down, but it didn't give me enough with spread to get out with a profit. So then it ran all the way back up, and I'm just sitting there. I didn't average in or anything. Then finally it came back down, broke that level, and then just really broke it, and I was out with, I think, 3.2 pips or something. So I was patient, and I just waited. But you know what? That was luck. It wasn't, there was no skill really involved.
Right. Now there is some skill there, because the skill is that, and the skill is that you weren't impatient. Because if you were impatient, you could have jumped in 2-3 times, on the one that was running its way up, and play in places where you shouldn't have done that. And the next thing you know, you've now hit what you're willing to go and lose on a particular trade. So that's the skill part of it. That's what I mean by you make your bed. So what did you do to go and make your bed? Well, in this particular case, you said, I'm going to hold my gunpowder. I'm not going to expend it here. It's not a good place to expend it. I'm going to leave it there, leave everything dry, as they say, and wait for it to come back. And if it doesn't come back, well, then I'm going to have to take a loss. But at least I'm not going to take a big loss.
Right.
And that's the skill part of it. Because you do make you, to a certain extent, you do make your luck, but at the same time, whether it's going to go up or down, that's just pure happenstance. Nobody knows, and the first person tells you they know, run, run far away, because they're trying to go and sell you something that, that may work, this one particular time, but you just never know what's going to go and happen. And that's my point with that. Again, part of, make your luck, why is it that, and here's an example that I like to go point out is, why is it that people say, well, Bill Gates made billions and billions of dollars, because of pure luck, and it's like, he just happened to be in the right place at the right time, to go and make all those billions of dollars. Well, here's the question that I have to go and ask: who put him in the room? Did somebody force him into that room by gunpoint to go and force him to make the billions of dollars? No, he went off to school. He did quit school. He never finished school, but he did go off to school. He got involved with a bunch of people who had equal mindset about how to go and make money and how to go and develop a really, tight operating system that the masses could go and use. And he then put in the work, and that's where the patience comes in, of years and years of actual work, going and making it work out. And that's what I mean by this whole idea that, you make your luck. Now, at the same time, he could have done all that, and the roadways are paved for lots of these people who did just as much work, worked just as hard, and it just didn't work out, and they didn't make the billions of dollars like Bill Gates did. So that's the chance part of it. But at the same time, you're not going to make the billions of dollars unless you put the work in. And the work for us as traders is that, that the first part of this video, the whole idea of patience. You got to sit there, look for your trade, find your trade, have the patience and discipline to go and figure out what your trade is, and have the discipline and the patience to go and figure out what your risk management's going to be, what your money management's going to be. Put all that down, and then the biggest part of that, the discipline of actually going and executing it. Execute it in good times. So very easy to exercise things in good times, and exercise it in bad times. When things, like you said, you went short at that 10 line. If that thing would have just shot down to the 00, that would have been real easy just to go and take your 10 pips.
Exactly.
It's not so easy to go and do it. Stick in a trade and watch it go all the way up to 15 or 16, and have a money management plan in place or a risk management plan in place that says, okay, I'm not going to average in here. It doesn't make sense to average in here. I'm going to hold off and wait for another signal, or wait for this thing to return. And I've traded with you long enough to know that that's essentially what you do. You'll wait it out. You've got the patience to wait it out. And if it doesn't work out, you take your loss, and you move on and wait for the next opportunity. And that's the patience part, and that's the part that makes you lucky, because you do that and you have a good plan and you execute the plan well. Well, the luck part of it's going to be taken care of, because it's going to become not immaterial, but what's going to happen is that it's going to matter less. And the reason why it matters less is because you've got something in place that mitigates against the damage that can be done by quote unquote bad luck.
Yeah, well, we just crossed the daily weekly open here at 6, so or 7. We're 2.3 pips below it right now.
Yeah, and it's sort of like it's something where if you look at this, even the last hour, and you look at how many times you could have made money just doing flip-flop boxes, and you just would have taken them all. The reality is you would have lost some and you would have won some, but overall you should have made a lot of money just by going and taking and having the patience to execute when you need to execute. And when I say execute doesn't mean just go and take the trade. Execute also means to go and get out of the trade.
Yeah.
Get out when you're supposed to.
Yeah, but the supposed to sometimes is hindsight. Because we,
I didn't say it's easy.
yeah. Well, it's just sometimes, we're in trades where you exit and it's like, dang it, if you would have just held 3 more seconds or something, you would have gotten two or more pips. And that happens a lot.
Yeah, there was a trade about a month or so ago where, I had made, I want to say that I thought I was doing great and I made like 5 or 6 pips and I exited the trade. And if I had waited 2 more seconds, I would have picked up another 10 pips. It rocketed 10 pips. But that's luck, and because that was unforeseen. There was no news event on the table. There was no reason why it should have moved that quickly. And oh, by the way, it could have gone rocketed against me just as much, and I would have gone from being up 4 or 5 pips to being down, 4 to 6 pips when I would have exited, and that's just the luck of the draw, and you just got to go and again try to go and mitigate those things, and there are things we can do to mitigate those things, it's that thing where you want to be a little bit more conservative and you don't want to take the chance on that. Every one of us owns the ability to go out to forex.com and forexfactory.com and go and look at the economic calendar and figure out, hey, these are times when I know it's going to be volatile and too volatile for my taste. Because it's too volatile for my taste, I'm going to go out and get myself, as they say here in the States, I'm going to go out and get myself a cup of joe. I'm just not even going to be around. I'm just not going to be bothered with it. I'll come back, 15, 20 minutes after all that has passed through, and I'll go and look for my opportunities then. That's one way that you can mitigate against it. Another way you can mitigate against it is you don't go and, if you know that based on your trading plan and your trading style, that's probably a better way of putting your trading style, that you should go and trade one lot, period. Trade one lot. Don't go out there and try to go and become a hero, trade 3, 5, 10 pips, 3, 4, 3, 5, 10 lots, and cause yourself a disaster. That's foolish. And, as the old expression goes, a fool and his money parked quickly.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, and again, it's making your luck. That's part of making your luck.
Yeah, we got a flip-flop box here right at the daily, weekly open, so.
Yeah. Now, which way it goes, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, my bias is down.
Right. Yeah, I have no idea which way it's going to go. All I know is that, if you look at some of the news from this weekend with some of the crazy stuff that happened in the Ukrainian-Russian conflict, Europe is probably on edge because of some of the stuff that happened. So, safe money would say, hey, it probably people are looking to go and put money into dollars as opposed to putting it into euros or pounds. But I've got there's nothing out there that says that that's really going to happen.
Yeah, we're right. I brought up the buy zone chart. We're right here at that open. I just think price wants to head down. I think one of the reasons I'm thinking that is on the H4 chart, I believe there's a missed pivot, down at 2658. So I'm thinking price wants to head down and take out that missed pivot. And actually, we have a missed pivot on this new H4 at 2714, so we're 10 pips away from that. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Well, fellow traders, the fastest 15 minutes in trading is just about over. So, are you patient? Are you willing to wait for, to have the market smile upon you and give you some luck? Because, patience, that's one of the biggest things in trading. And always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out.